Three pharaohs reign: Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinus. Sarcophagi may be empty, wrappings unwound, yet Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinus still reign, bearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. They reign over their court, buried round pyramids where their queens lie, over the tombs of their ministers, over the whole hierarchy, sleeping forever. Chamberlains, high priests, buffoons, architects, courtesans, each in his proper place in these funerary chambers which are called mastabas. For this is a royal palace of the dead, with triumphal perspectives, pavilions, corridors, secret rooms, strong walls. It was a city of another world, approachable by the people only as near as the outer temples where their devotion led them.
Coming from the Nile, one ascended by a monumental causeway built on the same colossal scale to the high temples where only the priests lived among the secrets of the mummies. They alone knew for what journey the great barges were being prepared at the foot of the tombs. A journey with the sun. A journey which has lasted for...
All the ambitious dreams of conquerors whirling like dead leaves. As my motto, I chose an Arab saying: the world fears time, but time fears the pyramids.
Of all ancient monuments, it is the pyramids which have always appealed most vividly to man's imagination. Considered from its top downwards, a pyramid is like the sun's rays bursting through a gap in the clouds. It commemorates the greatest victory of all, victory over death. It is the most perfect mansion, the strongest tent, whose great stone sides are both roof and wall, and so carefully sealed that the dream entrusted to it can live to the end of the world. The dream of immortality. To achieve this, embalmers prepared the body for 2 months, emptying it of all but its heart and kidneys. Attended by a whole crowd of statues, provided with all that was necessary for the journey, there in the sarcophagus lay the mummy, to be called on by the soul. For alone and without the body, the soul could not go into the night. And from the depths of this tomb still rises the scent of herbs, cedar oil, resin, and myrrh. But a pyramid is also the perfect combination of simplicity and magnitude, and the interplay of its angles makes the... Among all the objects laid by a dead man's side in his tomb, a scribe's palette is undoubtedly the most precious. From it were drawn the hieroglyphs representing the figures which made possible the fabulous calculations ordering these mountains of stone. A lotus flower for 1,000. A finger worth 10-fold, a tadpole for 100,000, and the scribe's 2 hands joined in prayer for 1,000,000. Among all the objects
carried by the flooding of the Nile. The movement of these great waters drove the farmers from their inundated fields to the plateau of Gizeh, where they joined the army of laborers and built. These stones were hauled singly on earth mounds, banked higher and higher as the edifice grew.
In front of such superhuman effort, can one believe in the legend of the whip? It needs mystical fervor to build a pyramid. Faith. Those who worked here deserve not our pity, but our deepest respect and admiration. They lived through one of those rare times when man knows with absolute certainty what he has to do and where to go, because he believes. Here man thought that death was vanquished.
At my feet, on this vast site, with mankind still in its infancy, walked and worked surveyors, geometers, astronomers to whom no star was unknown, engineers, architects, a whole people, while the rest of the world hunted wild beasts and sheltered in caves.
O noble Nile, I salute this sacred enterprise. One day the desert sands invaded the fields, marshes dried up on the river's bank, and so, to save his life, man invented civilization. He had to contend with floods. He designed dams and culverts. He came to love the earth and want it for his grave. But soon he wished to outlive the earth. And it was farmers, helped once more by their beneficent river, who built these monumental houses of the dead.
And I, Kephrun's faithful companion, and grave priests, and the light steps of noble ladies whose diaphanous veils seem to clothe them, yet not to touch them.
Do you remember the story of the falcon that stole a sandal to see the owner? And he married her.
And do you remember how a nobleman at the court of Cheops lured his wife's lover into a deep lake by means of a wax figure, and there had him turned into a crocodile by a magician? Wishing to impress the pharaoh with his magical powers, he willingly revealed what he had done, but carelessly too. For Cheops punished the guilty and the boaster equally. On his orders, the courtier was thrown to the crocodile, which devoured him, and the unfaithful woman was chastised.
Do you remember, too, a young man, time in passing, left you behind like an old monk? Pharaoh is at rest in his coffin made of wood, adorned with gold and precious stones. The ceremony at the lower temple is over, and ascending the causeway,
Thou art now captive.
So, through millenniums, monarchs of ancient Egypt, none is more appealing than this young pharaoh, a poet and a mystic.